She doesn't belong here. Send her back to economy. The words rang out across the first-class cabin with the kind of unearned confidence that only comes from a uniform and a name tag. Every head turned. Every eye followed. The man who said it, a senior flight attendant named Marcus Reed, didn't whisper, didn't hesitate, didn't even look uncertain as he pointed toward the only black woman seated in the cabin. There was no gasp, no outcry. Just silence. Cold, public humiliation disguised as protocol. Wrapped in polyester, a metal badge, and centuries of inherited power. Her boarding pass was valid. Her seat was paid for. She had cleared security, passed the gate, and walked down the jet bridge like every other traveler. But none of that mattered the moment they saw her skin. Nobody stood up for her. No one said a word. As she sat still, calm, composed, every passenger stared like she had stolen something. As if she'd broken into a world that wasn't hers. But what they didn't know, what none of them could have imagined, was that the woman they tried to erase held more power than all of them combined. Power in silence. Power in restraint. Power in a signature that could end careers. Ava Langston had boarded that plane not to prove anything, not to show off status or demand acknowledgement. She was there because she had earned it. Every hour, every mile, every boardroom she had dominated brought her here. Seat 2B. First class, window. The ticket cost more than some of her fellow passengers made in a week. But to her it was a quiet reward. A brief moment of stillness between 4 cities in 5 days. She wore a cream silk blouse beneath a sharply tailored navy blazer. Her slacks were pressed to a razor line. Her heels clicked quietly when she walked. And the jasmine scent she wore left a trace behind her, elegant, never overpowering. She had just settled in when Marcus approached. His energy arrived before his words did. Arms, aggressive stance, jaw clenched like he expected a fight. She looked up, meeting him with a calm, steady gaze. "Miss, I believe you're in the wrong seat," he said, tone flat but heavy with suggestion. Ava blinked once, not even blinking fast, then reached calmly into her bag for her boarding pass. "This is seat 2B, correct?" He barely glanced at the paper. "You're probably meant for the back, coach." "It says first class," she replied, voice even. Still, he didn't check. He didn't ask questions. Just stared harder. "Let's not make this difficult. We have a full flight." "Is there something wrong with my ticket?" she asked again, still seated, still unbothered. "You're making other passengers uncomfortable," Marcus snapped, a little louder this time. Ava folded her hands neatly in her lap. "I'm sitting in the seat I paid for." Somebody cleared their throat. Another person looked away. The rest pretended not to hear, not to see, not to be a part of what was happening. "If you don't cooperate, I'll have to call security," Marcus warned. "Everything is correct," Ava said, producing her ID and confirmation. "So again, why are you asking me to move?" He didn't respond. He didn't even look at her documents. The silence in the cabin was thick. Everyone was watching, but no one was intervening. She wasn't causing a disturbance. She hadn't raised her voice. She simply existed in a place they thought didn't belong to her. Marcus returned minutes later, more irritated than before. "You'll have to move, or you'll be removed." Ava remained still. "Check the manifest," she said. "You haven't even looked." "I know what I'm seeing," he snapped. Someone from the back muttered, "Can we just go? Some of us have connections." "You're holding everyone up," Marcus added. Ava tilted her head slightly. "If I asked anyone else to move without checking the list, would that be protocol too?" Marcus's jaw twitched. "You don't meet our standards," he said. Those words hung in the air. The cabin didn't react. Not visibly. No one gasped. But the weight of that for so coated, so all settled like fog. In the galley, a junior flight attendant named Elise had been watching everything. She held a tablet showing the passenger manifest. Ava Langston's name glowing clearly beside 2B. She didn't speak. "Not yet." Ava asked, "What standard don't I meet?" Marcus had no answer. Just the growing heat of shame disguised as anger. "So you're going to remove me without confirmation?" Ava asked. He didn't say yes. But he didn't say no either. A soft chime sounded. Final boarding. Finally, Marcus looked. Just a glance. The flicker of truth danced across his face. Her name was there. Seat 2B. But still, he stood firm. "You'll need to move." So Ava stood. She picked up her bag, held her head high, and walked deliberately, unbroken, the length of the cabin. Past every passenger who had stared at her like a trespasser. Past the quiet ones, the avoiding eyes ones, the ones who wished this would all go away. To seat 35C. Back of the plane. Beside the restroom. Where the air smelled like disinfectant and old coffee. She sat tall. Still composed. Still poised. Still watching. The drink cart passed her by. A water bottle offered by a fellow passenger was quietly taken away by Marcus. She's not on the list, he lied, and nobody challenged him. Ava didn't argue. Because her power wasn't in yelling. It was in watching. And waiting. After an hour, she stood and walked to the service station. I'd like to speak with the lead. Marcus laughed. You think you're important? I think professionalism matters. A voice rose behind the older man in a navy jacket. I've never seen anyone treated like this. Marcus stiffened. Elise, still quiet, held the manifest. Her hands trembled slightly. Then a shuffle. A magazine opened. A passenger held it up, showing the glossy cover to the person beside them. Wait, isn't that her? The words spread like sparks on dry grass. That's Ava Langston. Private equity giant. Billion-dollar deal maker. The woman behind the recent Skybound Airlines acquisition, the same airline they were currently flying on. The cabin buzzed. That's her. She bought into Skybound. She's part of the board. Recognition dawned too late. Elise returned to the back of the plane, face pale. Ms. Langston, I'm so sorry. Ava raised a hand. Not to forgive. Just to acknowledge. Marcus appeared minutes later, shaken and silent. No apology, just presence. Ava didn't absolve him. She didn't explain. She didn't need to. The truth didn't need defense. Just light. She returned to her seat. Her silence more powerful than 1,000 speeches. Marcus received a call. Ground control. HR. Corporate. He came back to 35C. They've asked me to deplane, he said. I was wrong. Ava said nothing. I was ignorant. She nodded once. Not forgiveness. Recognition. Elise followed, nearly in tears. I should have said something. I froze. Others followed. I'm sorry. We didn't know. I didn't realize. I should have said something too. Ava didn't comfort them. She didn't offer them peace. This wasn't about their guilt. At the gate, a corporate officer waited. Ava exited quietly. Still poised. Still Ava. The next morning, the world exploded. Headlines. Videos. Hashtags. Skybound Airlines stock plummeted. A press conference was held. The CEO spoke. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a failure. Then Ava took the stage. This isn't about me, she said. It's about the next black woman asked if she's in the wrong seat. She paused. I don't want special treatment. Just equal footing. She left the stage without applause. She didn't need it. Later, when a reporter asked what she hoped people would remember, Ava smiled softly. That I stayed in my seat, she said. And to the girls who sit there next it tall. Don't move just because someone tells you you don't belong. She didn't have to raise her voice. She just had to stay.